Too many cooks. 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 Too many cooks.
Takes a lot to make a stew. I couldn't face these streets without you.
A dash of grime to add some spice.
This city's like a pressure cooker turned up to high. Some people say it's spoil the broth, but that's not the American way.
Go, 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 go! I'll show you the American way.
This is the Earthway. Cordkillers. Our mission is to report the intel from the front lines of the cord cutting revolution so you can watch what you love when you want, where you want, on any device you choose, no matter what planet you're from. I'm Tom Merritt.
Hey, man, I'm Brian Brushwood, and I'm seriously thinking about just giving it all up. Just going and cooking for a living and just leaving the comedy to the people who are truly good at
Brian, no. There are already too many cooks.
Oh, I'm sorry. Hey, man, if you haven't seen it, and this is the weird thing, like I thought it was all burnt out and played out and everyone in the world has seen it. Too Many Cooks blew up this week, has barely over 1 million views in its most recent release from Adult Swim. It was originally aired at like 4 in the morning. It's an 11-minute long short, and it is unreal. And I honestly feel like if we have an ounce of credibility with you, and by we, I mean me, just stop what you're doing, watch it now before you have any spoilers, before you even know what it's about, before you even know what it is, because it is masterfully crafted. It's amazing.
Well, you think that, I think that, but we should bring in our guest and find out if he thinks that. Ladies and gentlemen, OMG, it's Chad Johnson on the show.
Oh!
Hello, everybody.
Chad,
Hi.
it's been too long, sir.
It has been way too long. In fact, I don't think it's been at all. This is the first time
I'm sorry. What I meant to say was, Chad, it's been forever since you last joined us. Literally forever.
What I mean to say is, Chad, who are you? What? Have we met? No.
We mean to say, Chad, are you... Why? You're just some random kid, right? Why are you here?
So Chad does a very successful YouTube channel. You might have seen his Minecraft work. He has OMG Craft, a very successful Minecraft channel. So about time we get a damn video game making creator on the show, I think.
Thank you. Yeah, so if I was to briefly encapsulate the stuff that I do online, I have OMG Craft, which is a twice weekly show that's... I would say it's kind of like Cordkillers, but only Minecraft. It's 7 minutes long, and it's only that on a channel.
So,
But otherwise,
this is
pretty
the
much
guy.
identical.
This guy knows how to pander to the base. That's smart thinking. That's
kinda
good.
all
like,
about pandering
if
to
you're a
the base,
fan
no
of
trouble.
Cordkillers, you might be a fan of Minecraft. Anyway, and then I also do a personal channel that does like 4 videos a day. All sorts of different videos: Minecraft, Gmod, Mario Kart. And that's just a completely different sort of realm.
Which
of
by
YouTube.
the way, I mean, it's a little bit variety, and this is what you get by having a personal channel and a show channel. But your personal channel's blowing up as well, man.
It is. So if you've been following me, I just joined. This is going to sound really silly to someone who's not in the space, but I joined a Minecraft server in a Minecraft community called Mindcrack. And that has gained me.
By the way, real quick, I guarantee you, anyone over 40 is like, man, did he just say he's in a gang and I wouldn't understand?
Yeah.
we do thug life in Minecraft.
Mindcrack, okay? That's the name of the community.
No, but you joined the super exclusive Minecraft community, and I noticed that you've really opened up. It's given you an excuse to totally open up the floodgates and just do a ton of content on your personal channel.
Right, absolutely. And in terms of growth, I was sitting at close to 40,000 subscribers, and now I'm at 45, and it's only been like a week.
Jeez,
that I've been
10%
part of the
growth week
community.
over week. Not bad, bro. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Hey,
Well, awesome.
should we move forward?
Let's talk some cord cutting with you today, shall we, Chad?
Absolutely.
Let's start with our primary target. Please acquire it now.
Acquiring.
So we talk a lot about ultraviolet on the show, which is the system that allows you to store your movie purchases in the cloud. But if you remember, way back in the days of frame rate, we talked about how ultraviolet had started alongside of Disney's similar effort. And we haven't talked much about Disney's effort because they've been going it alone. All the other studios are in ultraviolet. But Disney has been slowly building a little empire, and they just partnered up with Google to bring Google Play access to the Disney Movies Anywhere service. So the way this works now is you buy a movie in any participating store, you get access to that movie on any participating device. Now, that sounds a lot like ultraviolet, except the difference is ultraviolet does not have Google or Apple on board. Disney has both. So in other words, if you buy a movie on iTunes, you can watch it on your Android device in the Google Play and the Google Movies universe, and vice versa. You buy a movie from the Google Play Store, you'll be able to get it through your iTunes device as well. The new Disney Movies Anywhere app is also coming to Android and supports Chromecast. The app is just another way to access that same content, but they throw in some extra features like chaptering, some free content, a loyalty program. And if you keep watching within the app, you can resume across devices. You can pause on your phone if you were watching there and then resume on your tablet. Now, Brian, we were talking about this before the show, and you were sort of befuddled about the idea that people are doubling down on purchasing movies.
Well, first of all, let me make it very, very clear that I am not in the business of questioning the business motives and intelligence of the folks over at Disney. Those guys are going to make more money. In fact, they just made more money just now than I will in my entire life, just in the time it took me to say that sentence.
And now they've doubled it.
So I understand that I am almost certainly wrong about this. However, one of the fundamental pivots on this, and it's not really a pivot, it's a doubling down. By doing this, they have acquired two of the biggest marketplaces, right? They are also two marketplaces that are primarily focused on purchasing movies and not renting, not entering an all-you-can-eat streaming platform like a Netflix or even Instant Prime. Instant Prime's sort of a hybrid in that you buy some stuff and it's added to your watch list, and other stuff you just watch for free within the Prime ecosystem. I've got 3 daughters who love Disney movies, and I don't spend hardly any time in the iTunes ecosystem. I spend hardly any time in the certainly no time in the Google Play system. But all of this is because they want to double down on purchasing and collecting. Any parent knows that you end up buying a bazillion DVDs. You have a giant tower of them. Kids can pick over whichever one they want, throw it in themselves, and do it. That's great, and I understand that because it keeps the kids entertained, it keeps them focused, and it keeps them rewatching that content, and they have a library. The statements that they made, and I'll have to find the quote on it, about collecting. There we go. This is I missed the first name, but Voris, the spokesman or whatever, said, "We think we have the most collectible brand in the world." You do. However, the pleasure of collecting is in having the collectible things. It is not in the knowledge that you have virtual access to a collection of stuff, or at least the majority of the pleasure in it. I would have thought that the smarter move, and they may make this move down the road, and in fact, if this is the first step, it's a brilliant long con. I thought that they would create their own ecosystem where you can run around and play in the Disney waters for a set fee that they get pretty much for all of eternity. And maybe the first step on that is doubling down on purchasing, and then 2 years from now, they say, hey, good news, for the cost of just one DVD a month, $20, double what Netflix charges, you can have access to the entire Disney archives, unlimited forever. I would buy that in a heartbeat, but I have zero interest in doing this, mainly because my kids can't do anything with it on their own. And that's the whole purpose of having a collection. It's the kids.
What do you mean they can't do anything with it on their own?
I got to teach them. I got to make an account on the Google Play Store, teach them how to log in. I guess, I don't know. It's the same crap as always.
It's the same crap as if they had an unlimited streaming. You'd have to give them an account and log them in.
Correct.
I mean,
but
the difference is,
in,
because I think that objection is less pertinent than some of your others. You can buy them frozen. You can buy them things from the Disney movie store And you could have a device set up with your account that they're not allowed to buy from. You could buy them on iTunes, and then they would just show up on their device, whether it was Android or not.
Let me rephrase. Right now, the incentive as a parent is to go. The task is, the price is, I have to create a new login on a new thing, and I have to create, and tie it in with different devices. The benefit right now, as it's stated, is I have 0 movies in my collection, and I get to start with 1 movie at a time collecting, which I have no interest or time to do. However, if they were promising me, okay, hold on, bro, you're going to have to make an account, you're going to have to set it up, you're going to have to get your kids trained on it, but on the other side is all the movies totally in, and into the tune of $20 or $30 a month. And so to me,
as long as you have an internet connection.
Oh, shoot. I didn't think about that. All these devices download for offline viewing.
Yep.
Ah, crap. I'm wrong about everything. Disney's rights. Damn it.
I didn't think that would be the underpinning. Chad, what do you think about this? Because I mean, Brian makes a really good point. Are we still collecting things in a digital age?
I think it's really funny that Disney is the one saying Disney is so collectible, because it wasn't it Disney that we had a few, I think it was like maybe a year back, that they pulled anything, even purchases, even if you had bought the movie on, say, Amazon. I think it was, I'm pretty positive it was Disney, unless I'm remembering wrong.
No, I think you're right. But
Yep.
I think they fixed it right away.
They did fix it. But so far, in my mind, the only company that has ever pulled something you've ever bought that maybe you don't own anymore because it's a digital thing in the cloud is Disney. They are associated with the bad guys for doing that. It's hilarious to me that they're like, we're so collectible. You should buy it and then have it online. It's like, Disney, you're the ones that I'm scared of right off the bat. I think that Brian is right on the money with a subscription. It's fundamentally easier from every point of view if you buy in once and then it is all you can eat. And I think parents will understand that better. And also the experience of a subscription is you sign in once, you hand your tablet to your kid, and they browse and watch whatever they want.
And it's a safe ecosystem. You know where they're. Right. That's why we like the Netflix Kids and all that stuff. And again, I'm not saying that they're not going to make more money this way. I am going to say, as a parent, this would be a hard sell for me. I wonder if they're aware this won't have the traction that another Boulder announcement might have. But again, they're the ones making all the money, and
it's not an either or. Let's be fair to Disney. I mean, what Disney's announcing here is not, instead of coming up with our own Netflix, we're doing this. What Disney is saying is, hey, Ultraviolet has been doing this. We've been working on this for folks who want to download and own movies. We think we have a better way to do it. You guys are bringing up great points about whether you should want to do that or not. But the fact is, there are a lot of people still buying and downloading stuff and wanting to own it. And this is the better version of that than Ultraviolet, simply not because it works better necessarily, but because it is available on Google and it is available on iTunes, the 2 major stores. And I can see an argument for somebody who's like, hey, guess what? I'm one of the unlucky people whose internet has a bandwidth cap. And you know what I can't do is just can my kids the Netflix account and say stream away, because we'll end up running up overage charges. And honestly, even with kid safety settings, there's some kids programming I don't want them to watch. But what I can do with Disney Movies Anywhere is buy some TV shows, buy some movies, put them in the app, give them the device. I know what they're going to watch because it's going to be only the stuff I bought, and they can watch it whether we have the internet on or not.
That's a very good point. Sorry, go ahead, Chad.
Just 2 things. One, are you guys saying that with a subscription service, you would never be able to pre-download a movie? Well, because you can do that on Google Play Music. You just pin stuff and it's cached.
Yeah, but nobody's done it with video.
Why can't they? I mean, I don't know. I'm speculating, obviously, but I don't see that. Like, Disney owns the entire pipeline.
Well, now you're getting into what my next point was going to be, which is like, really, this is all fakery. This is all clouds and unicorns. We don't need any of this. We don't need Disney Movies Anywhere. We don't need Ultraviolet. Get rid of DRM, and suddenly everything I buy can be everywhere. I just put it in Dropbox.
Right, that's true.
Yeah, well, and also keep in mind also that very problem of bandwidth restrictions. I mean, in 5 years, do you think we're going to be talking about this? There won't be a place you could go.
No, I always
and not
say that
have
it's a
access to the
temporary
internet.
issue, and but I think some people think about it, and even if it's like, oh well, when the kids are streaming, my router gets so clogged up that I can't stream at the same time, so having them offline might help. There's usually something like that. But
And also
I
the nature
do
of
think people
kids-
just like to own stuff still, even if it is digital.
Well, I'll tell you this much. And I am not disputing that this is a great boon. If you are somebody who owns or who bought stuff on iTunes, now you can watch it on Google Play, and all you have to do is open an account with the Disney, tie your iTunes account to Disney, make sure to also tie your Google Play account to Disney, and then you very easily can watch
Well, that's
one
no
side or
different
the
than
other.
signing up for Netflix, giving them your credit card, tying your Netflix account on your Google device. I mean, it's just logging in.
No. The touted feature, though, and this is what I do have a problem with. The touted feature involves going to all three sites and configuring three different things on three different things. And who knows? In the future, maybe everything will be all tied together and it'll be a magical wonderland. I just it's.
I mean, I have to do that for every service. I have to go and log in and register my device.
Well, no. But you don't have to go to Party A and log in. You don't have to create an account on Party A, then go to Party B and tell Party B to make sure to check in with Party A.
Sure.
And then
yeah,
go
I have to
Party
create
C and
an
then
Apple account to log into my iOS device, or create a Google account to log into my Android device, and then I go and I can get some Netflix app from the Google Play Store, which I also had to log in, and then I have to download that. To me, that's really not a barrier. That's pretty much the same no matter what service you're using.
But also that's not analogous, because the stuff that's on Netflix is not immediately tied to your purchases on Google Play. This is a different situation.
So this is easier because I buy it on iTunes. I don't have to do anything on the Google Play side once I've set it up. It's just going to show up there.
Right, but okay, what I'm saying is you have to go through all the steps just for the benefit of accessing content that you already purchased. Which
Yeah, I do it on Vudu
you're
and
talking
Target
about
Ticket
two
and all
different-
that stuff. It's really not that big a deal.
Yeah, all right. Well,
I mean, people object to that for Hulu and Netflix and all that stuff. Oh, I got to log in on the other device now. It doesn't just know. I mean, to me, that's no different.
that's spoken like a man with no children.
Also, this whole
No, I'm just saying you had to do that with Netflix, right?
No, I didn't, because there's nothing
You never
that
had
I
to
gained.
log into Netflix
No,
on a
no.
device
You're-
and say, remember this login?
I am apparently not communicating effectively, because the stated benefit is that you buy in one marketplace and now you can access in another marketplace. But the only way to do that is to sign into all three accounts and tie all three together.
One time.
That is correct. That is correct.
Right. And the benefit of having Netflix on two devices is the same benefit, and you have to sign in on each of the devices.
No, that is the same marketplace on two different devices, not two different marketplaces tied
That's
together
what
through
Disney
a kludgy-
Movies Anywhere does, is make it as if they're the same marketplace.
I disagree. I think it's
After
different.
you link them.
Because you don't have to have the Disney Movies Anywhere app for this to work.
I understand that, but you do have to make
Okay.
an account on the third party to kludge it together.
But I guess what I'm saying is, for Google and Apple, you already have those accounts because you set up those devices. You have to have an account to set up the device.
Well, I mean, I guess I have a Google account and that I have Gmail, but I've never accessed the Google Play Store even once. So it's
yeah,
like,
but if you're logged in on Android, when you go to the Google Play Store, it's going to be like, hey, we know you. You're logged into your Android device.
that's interesting. I didn't think about it as a device-specific thing, because if you have an Android, then this is automatic for you. Maybe that's the double problem, is not only am I not a member of either ecosystem, but I also use an Apple device but don't buy things through iTunes, so I don't
And
understand
if you
the
were to
point.
buy something through iTunes, it would be like asking you to log in with your Apple ID, which you already had to have to set up the Apple device.
You know what? Maybe that's the thing, is we're just focusing on the most useless vestigial appendage of this whole offer, because essentially what they're doing is now they're saying if you have an iOS device, you can now access all of the Marvel content. If you have a Google device, you can now access all of our content. You're out of excuses, because that's what 99% of the market.
Right, exactly. And that's the difference between Ultraviolet, is they don't have Google or Apple. So you have to get a Vudu app and download it. And then you could access your Ultraviolet things, or a Flickster app or whatever.
Oh man, Ultraviolet was a coalition that just never came together. That and again, I still don't think this is that huge of a market. Well, I don't know. I'm wrong and dumb about everything. So.
What you're not wrong and dumb about is that we have 2023 patrons.
Actually, I am wrong and dumb about that, because that, my friend, is a lie I found out this week.
I thought you weren't going to admit that, so
Oh, no,
that's
no,
why
no.
I used the number 2023.
I mean, I said I'm not going to delete them. Turns out that this is a public service announcement. Little FYI, because we got a lot of folks out there who are proud of their support, but turns out that they're not supporting it. Didn't even know it. Recently, when we ran the payments, it was substantially lower. It was actually the lowest payment that we've got since we've launched. And I was like, I wonder what's going on. And I looked, and for whatever reason, because reality happens and life happens, a bunch of credit cards were declined. But the way the Patreon system works is it doesn't boot you out or not count your pledge. So as a result, there was a hefty chunk, like 15% of our fan base just weren't thinking. So your PSA is, if you are a patron and you want to make sure that your patronage is useful, happening, then please double check and make sure that your credit card is up to date, because it won't kick you out of the system. And when I discovered it, I asked Tom, I was like, so are we supposed to delete them? I don't want to delete them. And so we sent out a little notice, and we're giving this PSA. But we appreciate all 2023 of you guys, even though some of you guys need to update your credit card info.
And for those who don't, you're awesome too. Let's go and check our signals intelligence. There are loads of ways to get 24-hour streaming news on the internet, but very few companies are doing a 24-hour news channel just for the internet. There's ABC World News Now, which you might think is actually meant for the internet, but it is also broadcast. Sometimes overnight, sometimes on the alternate HD channel. And there is Bloomberg News, which is very businessy focused. There's CNBC apps, but those are just CNBC versions of the cable channels. And you have to log in with your cable account, same for CNN. So CBS thought, you know what? Let's get rid of the excuses, buts. Let's make a 24-hour streaming news channel just for the internet. So CBSN has launched its 24-hour news channel. It has live programming guaranteed from 9 a.m. to midnight. Then they do some reruns, and they'll break in with breaking news if it happens. They do borrow some content from CBS News and CBS Sports, but I think that's fair. But this is hosted and created for this channel. You can skip around and look at previous segments, little DVR-like quality. You can see what segments are coming up next. And they have apps available for Roku and Fire TV, the Windows 8 Store, Android by the end of the year. And, of course, you can get it on the web.
So a quick programming note, if you want to check this out, make sure to go to cbsn.cbsnews.com. Don't go to cbsn.com, because that's some realtor's website. Things I really, really liked about this is that it's got a no-nonsense setup to it. Like, you go, you click, and it instantly starts streaming exactly what they're showing real time. It's a live feed that goes straight to it. And you really can, click on any of the segments. You do have to sit through a 30-second ad every time you click to another on-demand segment, which is a bit of a steeper price than I would like as far as my time expenditures go. But I will say that the programming looks really good, that people are, they're treating it like a real 24-hour news station. And the unfortunately, my first experience with it was that I clicked on it and it immediately started going with programming. And I'm like, wow, that was fast. This is exactly what I want. It's like I clicked a button on a channel and now I'm there. And then it immediately went into unskippable live streamed commercials, just because that's when I happen to tune in. And I remember thinking like, well, that's fine. That's the way cable television works, and this is why I like on demand. So I clicked on an on demand segment, and then it's like, oh no! Now you got to watch this other unskippable ad for the on demand stuff. But again, that's the reality. My guess is that's the trade off they had to do. On balance, I would say it's a really good, well-designed presentation, and it looks good in HD. Have you messed around with this at all, Chad?
I'm just looking at it now, and the HD looks stunning. Like, they are doing a really good job. And I could absolutely see, if I cared at all about 24-hour news, this would be what I would be excited about. And
that that's the thing, right? Is the reason we haven't seen more of these channels is the demo that's really into this isn't cutting the cord as much, and they're still traditionally watching cable and watching 24-hour cable news channels. So I think this is one of those signposts along the road to internet television. Hey, look at this! A major network just launched 24-hour news specifically for the internet. We'll remember that as like, oh, then that's when we got that objection taken away. Now there is one. And you don't have to authenticate for this. You don't have to subscribe to CBS's $8 a month service, CBS Now. You can just watch it. And that's why there's so many commercials.
Speaking of which, I'll tell you the true test of this is going to be the first time there's a major breaking news story and everybody goes at the same time. Because in my mind, if you told me previous to this announcement, you rattled off a bunch of independent news things, or not independent, but a bunch of alternative news options for online streaming. But I wouldn't have thought of any of those. But now, like when a building blows up or there's a disease attack or a hamster eats a goat, I'll just go to CBSN, and it's like I know that that's probably what they're going to be talking about live.
Well, and Chad, this is probably one of the reasons you're not as interested. Is I turned this thing on for the first time, and you're right, looked gorgeous. That story, boy has trouble sleeping. Not kidding. Was in glorious HD, and I was like, nope, don't need this channel.
The next thing I was going to bring up is hooray, we've made a news stream only for the internet, and we're going to cover all the things that the internet doesn't care about. Like, you need some programming that the cord killer generation, that millennials are going to want to watch.
Well, again, that's why I feel like all of this content that you're seeing right now is generic news filler. That's what CNN, MSNBC, and all that stuff does. Then it's going to be when there's a breaking news story that they're going to build their reputation for being first. For example, if you look at when Ferguson happened, over 1 million tweets using hashtag Ferguson appeared before CNN started covering the story at all. They have an opportunity to build a reputation as somebody with a quicker ability to pivot on a story like that and be there first. All they need is 3 news cycles where they're first on that kind of thing, and they'll know whenever something's blowing up on Twitter, you can go to CBSN and see instant professional top-level coverage on it. If they choose to do that, which I don't know if they will.
But I think their filler also needs to be geared towards an internet age. Like, let's stop. I don't want to see cars swallowed up by sinkhole in Florida, which is literally the thing that just played.
Hold on, I gotta check this out.
Pretty interesting.
Yeah, I'm looking at the sinkhole.
Do
Hold
I
on.
give a crap? Like, no.
Well, what kinds of things would you see? Because old man Merritt over here is like, you can do 24-hour news without doing boy has trouble sleeping. It's called BBC World Service. They talk about Syria. They talk about Ukraine. They talk about the Islamic State. They talk about the crisis in China's western provinces. There's plenty of important world news
those all
to
sound
cover.
great. I just want you to know that 15 missing hikers were rescued in California.
Okay, that's actually a legit story. Like,
No, it's not.
What, 15 people got rescued? That's
No,
news.
15 stoners wandered off a path and got picked up by a park ranger.
Let's
That's what
talk
happened.
about the
That's the
story
worst
that was
example.
5
That's all
stories
I'm saying.
ago.
Like, that's an actual
Declining
rescue
sales. Pizza Hut needs an overhaul. Telling ya.
That is a great example. But Chad, what kind of things would you want to see?
Oh, you know what? It's well, they're saying we'll be right back, and they're showing like this video game company. Like, I would love a little bit of breaking video game news. I absolutely love the world news sort of aspect of big stuff that you would see on BBC. But like, I don't really care that much about. Oh, this is actually an ad. Oh, this is a Microsoft ad. I was really excited about the video game content.
See, the advertisers get it. They're like, look, the other people are going to watch this are people who are going to care about video games.
Well,
So
that's
what we're putting on.
unfortunate.
Absolutely. Like I would love some small updates about a game company going out of business or releasing a new thing or a new product or it just seems like or tech. I mean, it seems like the first people who are going to get into this are people who are really affluent in the internet era, and technology is going to be a thing they want.
Well, but again, that's not where the money is. We've talked a lot on this show about the fact that at the end of the day, as proud as we are of the cord cutting revolution, 98% of the world still watches live television as it streams. If you want to sell, I remember pitching shows and someone sitting there with crossed arms saying, "How are you going to hit the mom demographic?" It's not going to sell. You're not going to make any money unless you can sell detergent, and moms buy detergent. So you're going to have to figure out a way to do that. Like, that is the appeal for this, is that this is the kind of thing that a mom will tune into on her iPad while she's go.
The next time that Balloon Boy happens and Twitter is exploding and there's just no great streaming footage on the internet, you're absolutely right. This is going to explode. The next time there is something that is really kind of something for television that's visual, that they could get a helicopter on the scene. Like I was thinking like the missing people, or like there's a big car chase or something. This is going to just explode because it's so easy. You click in, you maybe watch some pre-roll, but then you are into live streaming. And I think it's going to take off after that.
All right, that's Signals Intelligence. That's news about something you can, a service that can bring you things to watch. Time to gear up. You can actually watch them.
What's that about, Tom? Gearing up?
That's about so you can
It's about
actually
driving
watch
cars. About driving cars.
Real fast.
so you could actually watch the things. You're not getting it. It's the things you use to watch the things on.
Aha.
No, am I not making? How could it be any clearer?
Makes more sense
okay.
than gear.
It's the gear you use. Yeah, exactly. Walmart has an FCC filing that folks have been uncovering, and Gadget has a story about it. The product is called the Vudu Spark. Now, we talk about Vudu a lot. They do similar to Amazon Prime. They have rentals. Well, not similar to Amazon Prime in the streaming, but they have rentals. They have sales. They're part of the ultraviolet system. And Walmart owns them. They have a filing for a product called Vudu Spark. It's a dongle. It apparently streams Vudu. That's all it does. And it may or may not have an app, but it comes with an RF-based remote using the Zigbee protocol. So it's a dongle for your Vudu stuff and a remote to control it with.
All right, now keep in mind, this is not an announcement of product. This is internal filings so that they can apply for permission to have it, right? They haven't announced pricing. They haven't even acknowledged that this is a real thing.
They do have lovely pictures of it. It says Vudu Spark on it. Stuff.
That's true.
Yeah.
So here's my question, Tom. What will it take in terms of pricing to make this a compelling product? Let's not talk about whether this is real. Let's not talk about whether it's a good idea. Let's talk about there exists, I assume very likely, some specific price point at which this can be a winner. What is that price point?
Right.
Especially considering the fact that the Chromecast has a Vudu app, and that most everything you have, you can get Vudu on. It's very prolific and very you can get it on a lot of devices. What is the price?
So that is good. I like that we're not taking the easy road out. It'd be very easy to just be like, what, a dongle that only has one thing? That's awful. Let's say, you know what? There's a crowd out there, shops at Walmart, just wants a simple thing that streams stuff, and they don't care. They're not in an ecosystem yet. So they'll go into whatever ecosystem is on the thing, and they don't want choice. They just want one thing. Vudu Spark is for them. Chromecast is $35. Requires you to have a phone, right? This doesn't even require you to have a phone. You got the remote right there. All you have to have is the internet connection. I'm going to say $20 is the max. I think you'd probably want to go 15.
What about you, Chad?
Immediately, I was like $5. $5.
All right, let me try something.
I need this thing to be.
Let me try something on for size here. What if it was $35? But it came with 5 free movies?
There's better be some good movies.
I was going to go the opposite way.
No, you get to pick. Like, you get credits in the Vudu store to buy 5 free movies. $50 of movies for only $35.
Look at this Vudu store you speak of.
I think you still got to do like 25, because 35 is a weird number. It sounds expensive. 25, suddenly they're like, oh, well, a DVD costs around 20.
Let's meet in the middle and say 30. We're negotiating now.
Well, I'm just thinking of the perception of somebody who's like, I normally buy a movie, a DVD for $20. This is going to give me 5 movies for $25, and I'll have this dongle thing. I think you give it away. It's what you do.
Well, I think it's perceived. I think it has a perceived value of free if you say this is $50 worth of movies for only $30, and
that's
you
not
get
the
this
Walmart
gizmo
way.
To add value. You know, this is a really good point, because Walmart has always competed on logistics and price.
Yeah.
So you're right. I don't see them doing that.
Fantastic movies like Let's Be Cops or Into the Storm.
Or,
Vudu's got those are recent releases though.
And
those
so
are,
it goes.
Right.
I'm
I
really
have
excited
Dead
to
Poets
watch
Society
Sex
on
Tape.
Vudu. I have Casablanca on Vudu.
There's good older movies, but again,
Maleficent, The Hobbit, Lord of the Rings.
Those are the best ones that I see, and I'm not all that
You're just
excited
looking at the
about
front
them.
page.
I mean, look. All right. First of all, Chad, if
Guardians of the Galaxy. Heard of that little
you
film?
got
You
me
can
there.
pre-order it.
If your case is that Vudu is not a top tier distribution platform, I'll be the first to agree. Like it's 4th or 5th place when we think of streaming movies. However, you know, again, I'm trying to steer away from that. We all know what Vudu is, and more importantly, what it isn't. But the question is, to me, what does this serve? It's such a quirky thing because Vudu is very prevalent. It's like they play ball with all these different companies, but they're not breaking forward. And I wonder if this is like the effort to go that last 10 yards to our grandparents and make it accessible to them.
No, they see this device that looks like a USB key in Walmart, and some undereducated, but I mean undereducated on this product,
right?
Salesman talks about you'd plug it into your TV and you've lost them. Like you have to plug something. But I get cable. It just is on the TV. I don't see any grandmother thinking, I'm super excited to take this little thing home, plug it into my TV, figure out how to set it up, and make an account, go to the store, to go to the internet
Chad,
get a movie.
One statement. Stick this in, millions of movies. That's what they're going to say. And you're like, and you get 5 free right now, and it's $25.
Stick what in? Also, Chad, why do you hate grandmas?
They're an idiot. No, just kidding.
No, we use the grandma thing. I think it's unfair. There's a lot of grandmas out there listening right now going like, I could use a Vudu. In fact, the Vudu Spark sounds stupid to me because it's not a Roku stick. It's not a Fire TV stick. On the other hand, I know what you're saying. Like some people are going to be like that. But those are the people who aren't going to buy anything. They're just going to be like, no, I don't care what it is. It's Apple TV, Roku, whatever. I don't truck with these newfangled technologies. But there is a group in the middle who's like, well, my DVD player is getting old. Should I buy the Blu-ray? And then the Walmart representative goes, no. Pre-order Guardians of the Galaxy for $20, and we'll give you a free Vudu Spark stick. You can just plug this into any of your TVs. Best thing is you can move it around. Don't have to have it all, can't move your DVD player around so easy. Just unplug this thing, plug it into the other one.
There's a lot of marketing ploys that they can do to make sure that
there's a lard also, but that's
there's a lard to make sure they move these sticks. But the mushy middle of people who are buying these things is not like, if you are in the mainstream, absolutely not. If you are knowledgeable, absolutely not. If you are stupid but want to try stuff, sure, the Spark is for you. But
I guess you're right because
audience for that.
Yeah, I think you nailed it.
Even as I was giving the pitch for like 5 movies and you get this thing free or whatever, like I realized I was pitching the Columbia House sales method, which didn't go so well. Was not the best investment for most people.
And it is. I think the middle is a bit too mushy. I think Chad's right. I mean, I think you can make a better case than you're thinking, Chad. But at the same time, that Roku stick's going to be in the Walmart, and they're going to be like, so wait, but I buy that and I have like all of these apps, and with that one I have one app. Like
that's why I think it needs to be something you either A, give away, or B, is $5.
Yeah, I think maybe you give it away. All right. Before we get to the front lines, real quickly, folks, there's lots of ways to support us. We talk about it every week. There's the Patreon, of course, the value for value model. There's also other enterprises we do. And we think maybe you're enjoying the commentary of one Chad Johnson and you would like to see more Chad Johnson. There's a way to support him on Patreon as well.
Thank you. Yeah, patreon.com/OMGChad. I have a question. You guys are Patreon experts. I created in 5 minutes this Patreon account while on the phone with Brian and Justin as they pressured me like bullies to make it. One of the things I did was I added a reward. As $1, if you pledge more than $1, you'd get a reward.
Yeah.
And I said I will make a sandwich and eat it.
Well, no, yeah, one sandwich satisfies your requirement. This for everyone. You don't have to eat a sandwich for each individual person.
Amount, right?
That's what I was asking. Like I recorded myself making one sandwich and eating it, and then the whole time I was thanking people and telling them about like how this past week has been insane and all sorts of stuff.
Look, man, just because you fulfilled that obligation in advance doesn't, just send them that video.
No, it was after the month. It was after the month was over, so that was their thing.
But for everyone if everyone new who comes on now, just send them the old video. Say like, there, I ate that sandwich that one time.
I mean, I'm happy with eating a sandwich a month. I'm a little scared about eating 212 sandwiches, thanking people individually. I wanted to get your expert
I don't think
opinion.
you have to do that. Maybe if you want to be generous, you could say, I'll eat a sandwich a month.
Right.
As as the Patreon, kicks in every month, then I'll eat another sandwich. That's only 12 sandwiches.
That's how I felt.
Okay.
That every month you get a little bit of an update from me for being a Patreon.
All right. Let's talk
Patreon.
about something besides your sandwiches. Everyone go to patreon.com/OMGChad.
Now let's move on to the front lines.
No more sandwiches.
Wait, there's no sandwiches at the front lines? I quit.
No more sandwiches in the front lines.
But there are stories. Microsoft's digital TV series Halo Nightfall is coming. It's included in the Master Chief Collection, which comes out tomorrow. 5 25-minute episodes will be released weekly to owners of the collection, or you can watch it on the Halo channel if you have the Xbox.
Oh my gosh, this article on The Verge was utterly brutal. It's like they just said, okay, so it's Halo without anything that we know from Halo. That's fine. You could pull that off if you're as good as Battlestar Galactica. This isn't even as good as Caprica. Like they excoriated this. They said that the CG looked terrible, that the plot had nothing to do with anything familiar with the canon, and that it just didn't resonate. I mean, it's like they were not kind, and there was a lot of them. Are you interested in this kind of thing, Chad? Do you feel like you could forgive it being completely unrelated to the source?
I don't care enough. I don't care enough to like a mushy middle product. If you care a whole bunch, you're gonna really want everything to be in the canon. You're gonna want to see the characters that you absolutely love. If you don't care at all, why are you watching a crappy version of sci-fi? Which there's great sci-fi available for you to watch.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm less rigid on that. I feel like as long as it's good, you can still win. But in this case, they made the mistake of not being good.
I agree with both of you.
Awesome.
Hey, man, I got great news about ads for online content. There's going to be a lot more of it. Forrester Research published a report predicting internet advertising spending will pass TV by 2016 in the United States. By 2019, Forrester estimates internet spending will make up 36% of all ad spending compared to TV's 30%. Is this a good thing or a bad thing, Chad?
It's amazing. It's the best thing ever. Are you so excited? I am so excited. And I'm actually not being facetious. I'm actually really excited about this. As a YouTube creator, we live and die off of the ads, and we can feel it. We can feel it based off of the time of year. If it's close to Christmas, we know the ads are going to be great. If it's right after Christmas, ads are horrible. No one's selling any products anymore. And hopefully that this will help a lot of the people that I know that make this as a lifetime, as a job forever.
That's one of the counterintuitive things is that if you love online content, you want there to be more ad spending in there.
Extension.
Oh yeah.
Because, and I don't need a lot. I don't need the whole time, but I think this is going to entirely change how all of this stuff we talk about works once we pass that moment. Once the ad spending is on the internet, all of a sudden every boss in every ad agency and every ad placement division of every company is suddenly saying, so we're spending money on the internet, right? Because that's where everything is.
Well, and that's the thing.
All of a sudden, Hulu's and the Netflixes who've been out on the cutting edge and trying to pull people in are in the mainstream. And everybody's coming after them. And this whole world that we've been following, Brian, for the past 5 years suddenly inverts once we pass this point.
Are you saying that it's what do you call it, where there's a point at which everything tips?
An inflection point.
I was going to say the tipping point, but I guess that makes sense too. An inflection
also the tipping point. If you're Malcolm Gladwell.
Yeah, exactly.
All right. 2 German developers are selling an app in the Google Play Store for about $3 that gives you access to Amazon Prime Instant Video on your Chromecast, something Amazon doesn't enable in their own apps. As I understand it, it's basically an app that can stream the video in the app and then also added Chromecast to their app.
Well, that seems like it's going to get shut down any second. I mean,
and they say it doesn't violate the terms of service, which it might not, because you can watch Amazon videos in a web browser. So if all they're doing is taking a web browser, putting it in an app, and adding a Chromecast button.
I mean, I guess to me that seems like a slow leak, and it's just a matter of time until it gets big enough that Amazon Prime decides to do something about it. Although, who knows? I think
if Amazon really didn't want things on Chromecast, they might shut this down, but I don't think that's the case. So they're probably just like, yeah, we don't really mind. Just ignore it.
And plus also, for all we know, they're in the late stages of working out a deal to bring it onto the Chromecast officially anyway. Hey, man. Let's talk about Netflix and how they hired marketing agencies for a big promotional push in Australia in 2015, presumably to go along with the launch of the service there. Holy cow, Aussies, our friends on the other side of the planet. Will you please shut up now? we're
Peter Wells was on
excited
Daily
for
Tech
you.
News Show this week. Very excited about this because he thinks this is going to really reduce piracy. Australia always gets a bad rap for having high amounts of piracy, particularly around Game of Thrones. This won't help the Game of Thrones thing specifically, but it'll give them a legitimate source. He says tons of people are watching Netflix in Australia over VPN with U.S. accounts.
I apologize for telling you guys to shut up. I love you guys. Please don't kill me with your scorpions. What about you, Chad?
Any idea if, because I know a lot of times the other things that the Australians complain about is price difference. Is there any price difference in the Netflix for Australia?
That's going to be interesting. Yeah, it's going to be more expensive, but it hopefully won't be like ridiculous amounts of expensive like software is. At least I would think so.
Well, and keep in mind also, it's not just piracy, but we've heard from a lot of our friends in Australia that they're using VPNs to, outside of the terms of service, but not necessarily illegally, access Netflix.
I said
My
that.
wombat ate your Netflix.
Well, you said...
Crash Course creators John and Hank Green have struck a partnership to bring their Crash Course videos to PBS Digital Studios. The Vlog Brothers, as the Green Brothers are known, will distribute their educational video library through PBS's YouTube network, as well as into the classroom through another PBS initiative.
This is really cool because it legitimizes the environment of YouTube as number one, as a source for educational videos, which, my daughter's homeschooling now. And I'd say 50% of all the stuff she learns is in YouTube ecosystem. And so from that come really good content that's geared to engage, as they point out in here, highly distractible minds. What about you, Chad?
I love it so much. I'm so excited. The one thing that I'm worried about is will content that's specifically made for YouTube live up in a classroom? Luckily, the things we're talking about, like Crash Course and the other things, are 10 minutes, 16 minutes in normal time.
Yeah. Hey, man, shipping dates for the Fire TV Stick have slipped to January 15th, meaning if you want to buy one for a December gift, you'll have to find one at a quote-unquote physical location, a.k.a. a retail shop like Best Buy and or Staples. I still haven't gotten my Fire Stick. Have you gotten yours yet?
Fire Stick no arrived, Brian.
Yeah.
My shopping date slipped as well. I would get mine before the holidays. I'm supposed to, but I don't think they're supposed to start delivering till November 15th. So that's why you haven't got it yet.
All right. I feel better now.
This is just a public service announcement.
I got my remote. I've been staring at my remote for 2 weeks now, sitting in my office.
Let's see what's under surveillance.
I mean, by definition, it's already under surveillance, isn't it?
All of us are metadata. This is going to feel like such old news by now, but since we last spoke last Monday, Star Wars got a name, The Force Awakens.
Can I tell you a secret?
Sure.
I learned this morning when I read this story. Like, that's how...
No, that's so funny. When it hit, I immediately got the idea. Yeah, I looked at it and I was like, well, the fact that I'm reading this and the story itself is 45 minutes old means I've missed the boat. So I went on Twitter with a joke, kind of playing off, well, you all know about The Force Awakens, so and I was like, do we call it TFA, FA, or whatever? And I got several people like, what are you talking about? I had to go look that up. Like, this was the worst spread announcement ever. Is that bad news for episode 7?
It certainly is an indication of can we call it title fatigue? I mean, we went through it every single time with the prequels. Maybe just none of us want that misery of dorky titles in our faces all the time. So we tuned out.
Yeah. Maybe that's it. Maybe they needed a different title to get people excited. Chad, I don't know if you're a Star Wars
Not really.
fanboy anyway, but
yeah, I mean, I'm looking forward to it, but not to the fact that I want to know what the title is the second it came out.
What about A Series of Unfortunate Events by Lemony Snicket? Are you a fan of that?
Oh, didn't they already make that into a movie?
They made it into a movie, but now it's going to be a television series on Netflix.
I'm actually kind of really excited about this, and Netflix has done such a good job. And the reason is because almost every other TV series from Netflix has been so good. I just want to see what they do with this awesome property.
By the way, that is exactly the response they want you to have. They worked very hard to keep an immaculate reputation for quality. I mean, it's smart. And by the way, I just saw the story over on the other monitor. I didn't realize it was animated. Looks like the screen grab shows it as an animated movie or television show.
That might just be from the book.
Yeah, they haven't started producing it yet. I think that's just an illustration. From
Is it? Okay. Yeah, what a bummer.
Sorry. Although, I don't know, maybe it is going to be animated. What won't be animated is Mark Wahlberg, though, because he's going to star as the $6 billion man because inflation in a film directed by Peter Berg, resurrecting that franchise.
God, what a bad idea. Not to resurrect the franchise, but to spend all this money on a license and to rebuild a franchise and then call it a worse name that only indicates how long ago the original happened and try to cash in on it. Like, it should be the $6 Million Man and maybe even set it as a period piece in the 1970s. I just don't know that this has legs. I mean, do you? Let me ask Chad, as a millennial.
Brian.
Oh, it's got one really fast leg. As a millennial, do you have any memories of the $6 Million Man? Are you even aware of what that was?
No. In fact, the first 15 seconds of you talking about this, I swear that you're going to be like, this is a ridiculous idea to spend so much money on rebuilding a man and then to try to rebuild this man. You're talking about the property or whatever. It's like, I don't know what this is. I'm not excited. Well, okay. I know that it's a robotic man. I think.
Now, what about, let's take a counterexample. What about 21 Jump Street? Before 21 Jump Street came out as a movie that was very hip and self-referential, were you familiar with the TV show?
No. And I didn't even I saw it in that was one of the things I was going to make fun of on the Vudu thing.
Oh, is that 21 Jump Street was a movie?
Yeah. It's like, what was this 21 Jump Street? Another dancing movie? Ha ha ha. Who cares?
Millennials.
So you're saying it's a franchise barely alive and you don't believe they can rebuild it faster, stronger, better. More powerful.
Maybe if they invested $6 billion, they could.
HBO is going to invest some money in making Asimov's Foundation into a show with the help of developer Jonathan Nolan, who you might know from Person of Interest, or the co-writer of Interstellar with his brother Chris.
Now, this is a different case. This is one that's before my time for sure, and I still haven't gotten around to reading the Foundation trilogy, although it's not a trilogy. But I'm familiar peripherally with its extreme quality reputation, to where it's like they're not cashing in on the popularity of it; they're cashing in on the prestige of that name, and I think that hopefully it'll be really good. I look forward to experiencing it.
I feel like this has just become old enough for long enough that it's cool again, and that hasn't happened with $6 billion man.
Yeah.
We have to. I think the prices of $6 billion man have to come back down to $6 million man.
What's crazy is I wouldn't put it past our government to spend $6 billion on a person.
I think they have.
It's really like $6 million for the person, but then it's another $5.8 billion for the toilet seat. So,
yep.
Chad Johnson, what have you been watching these days? Anything interesting on the internets or the televisions?
Yeah, so I mean, I would say that I was a little bit afraid coming on to Cordkillers, because I know you guys talk a lot about more either stuff that's on television that you can get off of television or whatnot, because I have been watching basically all YouTube video game series, catching up on, and then a lot of things like Audible and stuff like that. It's funny because you guys were talking about the stick, and one thing I almost wanted to bring up was I'm about ready to sell my television. I'm about ready to sell it and just not own it anymore. And
that's it, Brian. We're ending the show. We're starting a new show, TV Killers.
Tube Tanglers.
It's like the TV just isn't the medium that I want to watch content on anymore.
Well, now, I would assume part of that is because you dislike the idea of sitting there being focused on just one box, sitting on a couch or whatever. Like, you like the parallel ability to watch stuff while you're doing other stuff, right?
Absolutely.
So
absolutely.
You don't think in terms of sitting on the couch with a tablet? To you, it's like you'd rather watch it in a smaller window and have everything going on around it.
And it might also be the fact that I'm a bachelor and that I'm not ever going to watch anything with anyone else, and I can sit at my computer and just watch stuff. Like, it's just ever going to be me, and I'm already sitting at my computer. I'm not going to make the trek into the living room to sit on a less comfortable chair just so I can watch it a little bit larger, when actually the monitor in front of me is way better. It's like way better quality, way better quality than the DLP TV that I have.
Now, there's different.
Well, there's your problem. You have a DLP TV.
Well, yes, but why on earth would I buy another television at the moment?
Well, here's my question. I think there is certain content that lends itself well to distracted watching, and I certainly think live video game playthroughs are exactly that, because you can glance over, and especially you could rewind, and it's easy if you miss something.
Yes.
But are you telling me that if I gave you a copy of Interstellar right now, straight from the movie theaters, that you would watch it in a window while you browsed Reddit instead of watching it on your television?
Or I'd watch it full screen on my computer screen. But no, there's absolutely, even if you said, listen, I'm going to get, not only am I going to give you Interstellar, but I'm going to give you a media PC that you can hook into your television. I'd say, well, can I just have the file? Like,
What if I
put it
just
on
give
my
you a
monitor?
Chromecast and you can cast it?
Yeah, still, no. Like,
No?
no,
All right.
I own a Chromecast, and it's
Well, I'm
just,
not giving you one.
That's $35, Chad. That's a lot of money in some places. So yeah, no, I mean, I'm gonna watch it here. There's no.
This is look. We've said it before, and if there's no greater evidence in my mind that convenience trumps fidelity. Like, you have no interest in fidelity. You want
have
is
no
convenience.
idea how better the experience is on my computer. I get to wear it in headphones where the audio is perfect, where I watch it on a monitor that is better than 1080p.
Yeah, well,
This is worse. My television is worse technology than my computer.
I guess well, again, man. It's I think you nailed it with the Bachelor thing, so to speak.
Yeah, but
Surround
I
vision.
completely disagree about fidelity. Like,
Well,
I
no,
can
no,
watch
certainly
Ultra
look,
HD
No,
close to
certainly.
it on this monitor.
Certainly, it's a lower fidelity experience if you're doing other stuff while it's on. That was the example
Sure.
I was saying. Is would you open it? But you're saying you would watch it full screen and up close like that. And I do agree.
Absolutely.
That is a high fidelity experience.
Absolutely.
Well, I watched The Shield, as I normally do. I watched the movie Interstellar, which Brian and I are going to talk about on Spoiler in Time. Watched Doctor Who's season finale, which I was actually a little disappointed with. They tied up plot threads this year really well, but I just didn't like what they were doing with the Doctor. What I love about Doctor Who is the Doctor is always the clever guy who inspires you. And it was cool to have them say, what if he isn't so clever? What isn't he as clever as he thinks? What if he's not a good man? That was fun, but I really missed the Doctor as an inspiring character. I also watched The Walking Dead. It's great. Love this episode about Abraham. I think the story this year is awesome, and the way they're following it character by character, which is what they did last season, is still working. Best thing I watched all week, though, was the Warcraft trailer at BlizzCon. The effects that they have done to make the orc characters look realistic blew everyone away who saw it. And just even the sort of rough trailer that they have where the visual effects weren't fully complete looks really impressive. You really get a Lord of the Rings kind of feel, not a Hobbit feel, a Lord of the Rings kind of feel looking at it.
You're talking, because this was at BlizzCon, it took me a second to register that you're talking about the movie. I guess they showed
Warcraft,
Duncan
the movie,
Jones.
directed by Duncan Jones. Exactly.
Wow, that's very cool. I did not know. Is that I assume is that leaked yet, or probably not? Nobody held up a cell phone.
They showed it at Comic-Con. It never leaked, and they showed it again at BlizzCon, and so far it hasn't leaked again. And the reason they don't want it leaked is it's not, the visual effects aren't done, so they don't want people sitting there picking it apart.
Right.
But then what they did at BlizzCon that they didn't show at Comic-Con is they showed you a snippet of Duratan, one of the main orc characters, where the effects are nearly done. And it was like, oh, wow. Yeah, you want the trailer to look like that. That's going to impress people.
Wow. That's very cool. I watched Twin Peaks. We'll talk about that after the show. I watched Interstellar. We'll talk about that after the show. And I found myself, like, I wanted something to watch that I didn't have to be held accountable on. So I started watching Trailer Park Boys on Netflix, and a little bit sucked in. And I don't know if it's because it was a low-stakes gamble at the time, and because I do watch it kind of slightly distracted, the way Chad talks. But it's pretty much Always Sunny in Philadelphia in Canada in a trailer park.
I like that.
And
Sounds good.
and the first season I enjoyed, but everyone on Twitter was like, "Oh man, if you can make it through the first season, it gets so good." I was like, "I like the first season. I thought it was good as is." So I'm gonna keep plowing through that.
All right, let's check in real quickly on the winter movie draft.
Yeah.
Boom, boom, boom. So one of the feelings that Scott Johnson would do well was that he had Interstellar and it might be a sleeper mega hit. It's definitely not a sleeper mega hit at 49 million. Big Hero 6 outdrew it, actually, 56 million.
Yeah, man, I'm surprised by that, especially
Although Scott
because,
also had Big Hero 6, so he had a good weekend.
yes. Well, he made 100 million, but that's like what, 2/3 of his budget. And
Yep.
so if it's anything like all the others, it's it's gonna peter off, and he'll be lucky if he ends up with a quarter $250 million, right? 250 million after all this.
Now, I don't know what's going on with the feeds. We don't have numbers in the doc for The Theory of Everything, which was also out this weekend. Justin Robert Young's movie. And then next week, Beyond the Lights and Dumb and Dumber 2.
Dude,
Along with Foxcatcher.
That's my first movie, and as a matter of fact, we got some awesome insight from, forgive me if I massacre this, Mulongo Akpo Asambe wrote in saying that he loves the idea of the movie draft. They used to try to do something themselves, and he used some numbers from Yahoo that analyzes essentially picks for movie draft, basically evaluates how good they're going to do relative to what was spent on it. And he put together this amazing PDF that he sent over to us. He says he might make a video explaining the game to people so that he could get more people into it. But he gave Brett an A-, Scott a B+. He gave me a B, saying that there's a chance that I might pull out a surprise, and it's all based on the Hobbit movie. He points out that each Hobbit movie has done better than the one previous to it. And he gives Tom a B-, so I guess it's neck and neck between the two of us. John, he gives a C+, and Justin, he gave a D- too.
Wow.
Yeah, but he breaks down the number of movies that you get for the amount that was spent. I would love it if you would publish this document and make it available to other people. It does a really good job of if you're a number cruncher following along, being able to do that.
Yeah, cool stuff. Thanks for doing that, man. Appreciate it. All right, we got we're going to just make some time. Actually, we don't have any time. We're going to make some time to squeeze in a couple of dispatches from the front.
Yeah. Keeps happening, Tom.
Dispatches, they keep coming.
Well, we keep putting less and less content, hoping to get there sooner because we got tons of great stuff being submitted. Real quick, a bunch of people corrected us on the fact that we were talking about the Roku and whether or not you could watch HBO Go on it. A bunch of people sent me photos of the HBO Go on the Roku box if you had DirecTV, and then like a bolt of lightning, I remembered, oh yeah, dummy, I'm the one who put HBO Go on my father-in-law's Roku, and I apologize that I wasn't able to access that moment.
That's mostly my fault for being like, yeah, DirecTV isn't on my Roku because I haven't checked in a year and a half. But I think without giving myself an excuse, I should have known that. So I'm stupid for not knowing that. At the same time, a lot of people who don't host Cordkillers probably checked in once on whatever app with whatever service they had, saw that HBO Go wasn't authenticated yet, and never went back. So because they didn't, have a responsibility to check these sorts of things, that's going to be an issue.
Yep. We had talked about it. We'll start from the bottom here. There were a couple of short ones. We had talked about the documentary Atari Game Over. It's about Atari called Game Over. It's coming to Xbox Live. It'll be available both to gold and silver members, so you don't have to be paying for anything in order to access it, which I think is a very smart move because if you get into that ecosystem, there's a good chance that you'll end up going gold. And Lance says that he has a Roku 2 XS and a Chromecast. He's thinking about dropping Direct and would move to Roku 2. Okay, he's thinking about
dropping DirecTV. I think,
correct.
Yeah.
He would move the Roku 2 to his bedroom and use it as a composite out. Since that TV doesn't have HDMI, what do you recommend in addition to the Chromecast to get Amazon Prime Instant, and why? A new Roku, a Roku Stick, Amazon Fire Stick, and he's just trying to figure out how to get that stuff available. Total speculation here, but if you're already a Prime member, Roku Stick being half price, it was like $10, $20 or something. I don't. Yeah, the Fire Stick.
Wait, the Roku? You mean the Fire Stick?
Fire Stick. Sorry, misspoke.
Yeah, it's not $20 anymore though.
Oh, okay. Well, then forget I said anything. You're screwed.
I think that was a limited time offer. You might want to check, see if I'm wrong about that. But I mean, if you've got a Chromecast on one and a Roku on the other, what is he just like? I want something in addition to the Chromecast.
No,
he
says if he's talking about for the bed. He's moving one to the bedroom, but it only has a composite input. He can't use HDMI on it.
So that's the Roku, and then back out in the other room, he could just use the Chromecast.
Yeah.
But if he wanted to get another one for Amazon, I would say probably the Roku, because it's going to give you more flexibility. I'm looking up the Fire TV stick, though. It says $39, available for pre-order. Yeah, it doesn't have the $20 offer anymore.
Okay, so that was limited time. All right.
All right.
Well, hope that
thanks
helped.
everybody for writing in. Cordkillers@gmail.com if you would like to let us know. Brian's really good about reading all these things. He responds to a ton of them. So even if we don't read it on the show, we definitely see it, hear it, understand it, and keep it in our hearts.
Yeah, one of these days we'll have enough time to read all of them too. A lot of stories of people cutting the cable, and all of them telling us how much money they saved and how well it went. Chad, where can people see more of your lovely face?
So there's a few different places. YouTube.com/OMGcraft for a very highly produced twice a week show about Minecraft tips and tricks. YouTube.com/OMGChad if you want to just see me and my shenanigans. I make vlogs, I make LPs, that sort of stuff. Or Twitch.tv/OMGChad, which I do a stream every Tuesday night right when Night Attack happens. So if you don't want to watch those bozos, you can come over and watch me playing some games. And I'm trying to stream a lot more in the future. And then help support me at patreon.com/OMGChad. I really, really, really appreciate it.
Go kick him 25 cents, people, for goodness sake. Just help a brother out.
Absolutely.
All right, thanks everybody for watching. You can find us at cordkillers.com, and we stream live on diamondclub.tv Monday nights at 4 p.m. Pacific, 7 p.m. Eastern. We'll see you next time. Doom, 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 doom.